Welcome to another Coach's Preseason Interview as we visit with the head volleyball coach of the Colby Eagles, Jerry McKee, here at Colby High School, and it's brought to you by Farm Credit of Western Kansas. And Coach, what do you expect this season?
Well, I expect us to be okay. I mean, we lost some good people, but I think we're going to fill those spots.
You know, if you want to find some in-depth questions answered by Coach McKee, you can go to openspacessports.com to find out more about Colby High School volleyball. Well, Coach, let's talk about this team a little bit. And you mentioned the loss of some key kids last year. I mean, you had some really good ones. Gardner's gone. We got Bell, who's gone. Several others that have went and graduated last year. But they kind of set the stage for these kids, probably, huh?
Yes, they did. Last year was a total learning for us to learn the system that we run. And this year we're finding that it is carried over from last year. And I think we're ahead of where we were last year. So it's just whether or not we can get these young kids that's got to come up and fill these spots to be able to do it.
When the fans hears you say we had to adapt to a new system because you were in your first year as head coach here, and by the way, for those people that don't remember, you won multiple state championships at Goodland in Class 4A, and at that time maybe even 3A when they were 3A, but nonetheless multiple championships. When you say you are bringing a style here, what do you mean by that? What type of play would people expect out of the Jerry McKee style?
Okay, we try to run a quicker offense. We try to be on attack a lot more than what I think a lot of teams are. We try to hit you in your gaps, your seams, and so, you know, the speed of play, I think, is probably the biggest thing that we have changed.
You know, the critical points of volleyball, as I've learned it over the years, and I'm trying to learn it, still learn it, will continue to learn it, but I know the importance of a good passer and the good setter and then the hit, but you can't really get a good set if you don't get a good pass, right?
That is correct. The pass starts everything, and then from the set, we've got to be able to, the better the pass, the more options we can run off our set. If we're out of system, then we just got to take whatever we get.
How does the setter decide where to make the set? Who calls that, or is that the setter's responsibility to tell her teammates?
In our system, our hitters are calling what play they're running, and then our setter picks from those calls on where she wants to go and what she's picking up off of what the defense is doing.
Let's talk about your schedule a little bit. You're in the GWAC, of course, and it's pretty good volleyball. Scott City's also always very, very good. Goodland, as you know, has had a good tradition. Last year, Ulysses really came on and had a pretty good volleyball team. What do you expect in the league race, do you think?
Well, I think the league's going to be just as tough as it was last year. I would have to say Ulysses has got a lot of people back. They're probably the favorites, I would say, in my mind right now. But you know, we'll just have to see who's coming back and who's developed over the summer and where it goes from there.
When I think about the tournaments that you attend, of course, you're going to go to the Liberal tournament, and you also go to the Seaman tournament in Topeka, and then the Oakley tournament. Those are the three tournaments that you go to. What do you like about those tournaments, and where are there differences there?
Okay, the Seaman tournament, we see a lot quicker type of offenses. The size that we're running into with the type of players that we're playing against is much greater than what we see around here. When we get to the Liberal tournament, we see a lot of teams that we don't see regularly, so you really have to adjust to the different styles of play. And the Oakley tournament is basically teams that we see or we have played somebody, has some common opponents. The other teams, we really don't have common opponents with too many that we see in those other two tournaments.
And I think you have about 3 or 4 dates at home this year, don't you? Three at least.
We have three at least. So that is 3 varsity here, varsity, junior varsity, and then I think our C team has maybe 1 or 2 extra at home.
We alluded to the fact that, of course, last year we lost some really key players. Who are the key leaders for you this year?
Well, I think you've got to take a look at Haley Shaw. She's played quite a little bit last year. She's got a lot of experience. Morgan Mingle played a lot for us last year, which should give us some power to the outside. Carly Shaw was just coming on and starting to feel some outside power for us. And we've got 2 other seniors that are going to be coming in and doing different things for us. And then when you start going down to our underclassmen, we've got several quality underclassmen that I think are going to surprise some people.
Were you happy with the numbers that you had out this year?
Yes, I was real pleased this morning that our numbers stayed pretty close to where we were last year, so yes, I was pleased.
And in some respects makes it kind of challenging as a coach to get everybody the playing time. You talked about that several times last year.
Yes, that is difficult with the number that we have and playing some teams that can't field quite the numbers that we have. But I think the thing that we have this year is the competition for the positions, I think, has greatly increased. So we're going to have a lot of players fighting to get on the court. So.
Well, listen, good luck to you this upcoming season. We'll follow you on Open Spaces Sports. I'll follow you throughout the year, radio, cable, and, of course, on the Internet with live video streaming. Good luck to you.
Okay, well, thank you.
All right, Jerry McKee visiting with us here at Colby High School. The Colby High School head volleyball coach, brought to you by Farm Credit, many businesses throughout the Colby area. Reporting from Colby at the high school gym for Open Spaces Sports, this is Rich Ed.